Lexington is a town in Middlesex County, Massachusetts, USA. The population was 31,394 at the 2010 census, in nearly 11,100 households. Settled in 1641, it is celebrated as the site of the first shots of the American Revolutionary War, in the Battle of Lexington on April 19, 1775. It is part of the Greater Boston area and is the sixth wealthiest small city in the United States. History. Lexington was first settled circa 1642 as part of Cambridge, Massachusetts. What is now Lexington was then incorporated as a parish, called Cambridge Farms, in 1691. This allowed them to have a separate church and minister, but were still under jurisdiction of the town of Cambridge. Lexington was incorporated as a separate town in 1713. It was then that it got the name Lexington. How it received its name is the subject of some controversy. Some people believe that it was named in honor of Lord Lexington, an English peer. Some, on the other hand, believed that it was named after Lexington in Nottinghamshire, England. In the early colonial days, Vine Brook, which runs through Lexington, Burlington, and Bedford, and then empties into the Shawshene River, was a focal point of the farming and industry of the town. It provided for many types of mills, and in the 20th century, for farm irrigation. For decades, Lexington grew modestly while remaining largely a farming community, providing Boston with much of its produce. It always had a bustling downtown area, which remains to this day. Lexington began to prosper, helped by its proximity to Boston, and having a rail line service its citizens and businesses, beginning in 1846. For many years, East Lexington was considered a separate village from the rest of the town, though it still had the same offices and town hall. Most of the farms of Lexington became housing developments by the end of the 1960s. Lexington, as well as many of the towns along the Route 128 corridor, experienced a jump in population in the 1960s and 70s. Due to the high-tech boom, property values in the town soared, and the school system became nationally recognized for its excellence. The town participates in the METCO program, which buses minority students from Boston to suburban towns to receive better educational opportunities than those available to them in the Boston public schools. On April 19, 1775, the first battle of the American Revolutionary War was a battle at Lexington. After the rout, the British marched on toward Concord, where the militia had been allowed time to organize at the Old North Bridge and turn back the British and prevent them from capturing and destroying the militia's arms stores. Lexington was the Cold War location of the USAF experimental SAGE subsector for testing a prototype IBM computer that arrived in July 1955 for development of a computerized National Air Defense Network. Geography. Lexington is located at 42 degrees 26 minutes 39 seconds north, 71 degrees 13 minutes 36 seconds west, 42.44417 degrees north, 71.22667 degrees west, 42.44417 minus 71.22667. According to the United States Census Bureau, the town has a total area of 16.5 square miles, of which 16.4 square miles is land and 0.1 square miles, or 0.85%, is water. Lexington borders the following towns: Burlington, Woburn, Winchester, Arlington, Belmont, Waltham, Lincoln, and Bedford. It has more area than all other municipalities that it borders. Demographics. By the 2010 census, the population had reached 31,394. As of the census of 2010, there had been 31,394 people, 11,530 households, and 8,807 families residing in the town. The population density was 1,851.0 people per square mile. There were 12,019 housing units at an average density of 691.1 per square mile. The racial makeup of the town was 75.5% white, 19.9% Asian, 1.5% black or African American, 0.1% Native American, 0.0% Pacific Islander, 0.5% from other races, and 2.6% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 2.3% of the population. There were 11,530 households, out of which 38.6% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 66.0% were married couples living together. 7.7% had a female householder with no husband present, and 24.1% were non-families. 20.8% of all households were made up of individuals, and 12.3% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.66 and the average family size was 3.10. In the town, the population was spread out, with 26.4% under the age of 18, 3.5% from 18 to 24, 22.7% from 25 to 44, 28.5% from 45 to 64, and 19.0% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 44 years. For every 100 females there were 88.7 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 83.5 males. In 2014, the mean home price was $814,583, and the median home price was $1,395,000. According to a 2012 estimate, the median income for a household in the town was $191,350, and the median income for a family was $218,890. Males had a median income of $101,334 versus $77,923 for females. The per capita income for the town was $70,132. By race, the median household income was highest for mixed-race households, at $263,321. Hispanic households had a median income of $233,875. Asian households had a median income of $178,988. White households had a median income of $154,533. Black households had a median income of $139,398. American Indian or Alaskan Native households had a median income of $125,139. Foreign-born population in 2010, 20% of the residents of Lexington were born outside of the United States. Education. Public schools. Lexington's public education system includes 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. Overall, the Lexington School District is among the top-ranked in the state and nationally. Bridge Elementary School and Jonas Clark Middle School were both high-performing National Blue Ribbon schools in 2010 and 2013 respectively. Both middle schools have been ranked as top schools based on Massachusetts Comprehensive Assessment System test scores. Lexington High School was ranked in 2014 as the 19th best high school in the nation by U.S. News. In 2012, Lexington High School won the U.S. Department of Energy National Science Bowl competition. In addition to Lexington High School, students may also attend Minuteman Regional High School. Supplementary education. The Lexington Chinese School holds its classes at Belmont High School in Belmont. In 2003, over 400 students attended classes at LCS, held on Sundays. Points of interest. Lexington is most well known for its history and is home to many historical buildings, parks, and monuments, most dating from colonial and revolutionary times. One of the most prominent historical landmarks, located in Lexington Center, is the Common, or as it later became known, the Battle Green, where the battle was fought, and a statue of John Parker, captain of the Lexington militia, stands. Another important historical monument is the Revolutionary Monument, the nation's oldest standing war memorial and the gravesite of those colonists slain in the Battle of Lexington. Other landmarks of historical importance include the Old Burying Ground, the Old Belfry, Buckman Tavern, Monroe Tavern, the Hancock Clark House, the USS Lexington Memorial, the Center Depot, Follin Church, and the Mullican White Oak. Lexington is also home, along with neighboring Lincoln and nearby Concord, to the 900-acre Minuteman National Historical Park. The Scottish Rite Masonic Museum and Library showcases exhibits on American history and Freemasonry. Lexington's town center is home to numerous dining opportunities, fine art galleries, retail shopping, a small cinemas, the Carey Memorial Library, the Minuteman Bikeway, Depot Square, and many of the aforementioned historical landmarks. The Great Meadow, aka Arlington's Great Meadows, is a sprawling meadow in marshland located in East Lexington, but owned by the town of Arlington. Lexington's neighbor to the east, Willis Woods Conservation Area, a small forest of conservation land donated years ago by the Willard sisters. Willis Woods is referenced in the classic Saturday Night Live skit, Donnie's Party. Wilson Farm, a farm and farm stand in operation since 1884. The Lexington Community Center, a meeting place for Lexington residents. Notable Lexington neighborhoods include Lexington Center, Merriam Hill, Irish Village, Loring Hill, Belfry Hill, Monroe Hill, Countryside, the Monroe District, the Manor Section, Four Corners, Grapevine Corner, Woodhaven, and East Lexington. Marriott Square, at the intersection of Marriott Road and Waltham Street, is the location of some light shopping and dining. The Old Reservoir, sometimes referred to by locals as the Res, used to provide drinking water to Lexington residents and surrounding areas. Now it offers a place to swim and picnic in the summertime. In the winter, when it freezes over, it is used as an ice skating area. Book publisher D.C. Heath was founded in 1885 at 125 Spring Street in Lexington, near the present-day intersection of Route 128 and MA Route 2, and was headquartered on that spot until its 1995 sale to Houghton Mifflin. Lexington is home to several historically significant modernist communities built by notable architects. These neighborhoods include 6 Moon Hill, Peacock Farm, and 5 Fields. Notable people: Henry David Abraham, M.D., psychiatrist; Orny Adams, comedian; David Angelo, Emmy-nominated comedian; Charles Berkman, computer scientist and early developer of database management systems; Nariman Bayravesh, economic forecaster; Tim Berners-Lee, computer scientist and creator of the World Wide Web; Conrad Bloch, Nobel Prize in Medicine; Nicolaas Bloembergen, Nobel Prize in Physics; Harold Dalbugbie, a Western artist born in Lexington; Sidney Burbank, officer in the U.S. Army during the American Civil War; Noam Chomsky, professor of linguistics at MIT, creator of the theory of generative grammar and one of the most prominent linguists of the 20th century, as well as a noted political activist, commentator, and author; Francis Judd Cook, composer; Mary Daly, All-American Girls Professional Baseball League player; Alan Dawson, famous jazz drummer and percussion teacher; Dave DeGuglielmo, Super Bowl 49 winning coach. As offensive line coach of the New England Patriots, also coached for the New York Football Giants in Super Bowl 42, an upset victory against the previously undefeated Patriots. Joseph Denny, writer; John M. Deutsch, Deputy Secretary of Defense, Director of Central Intelligence and Professor of Chemistry at MIT; Peter A. Diamond, Nobel Prize in Economics, Professor of Economics at MIT, known for his analysis of U.S. Social Security policy and his work as an advisor to the Advisory Council on Social Security. Awarded the 2010 Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences, along with Dale T. Mortensen and Christopher A. Pissarides. Rachel Dratch, cast member of Saturday Night Live. David Elkind, child psychologist, author. Brad Ellis, composer and pianist appearing on the television show Glee. Philip Helmer DeWitt, science editor for Time magazine. Pavel Ettinghoff, mathematician, fellow of the American Mathematics Society, and professor at MIT. Carlton Fisk, Hall of Fame catcher for Boston Red Sox and Chicago White Sox. John B. Fletcher, Norman C. Fletcher. Henry Louis Gates, Jr., African-American Studies scholar, co-editor of Encarta Africana Encyclopedia. Peter Glaser, pioneer in solar energy engineering. Dana Greeley, last president of the American Unitarian Association and first president of the Unitarian Universalist Association. Jonathan Gruber, professor of economics at MIT and former deputy assistant secretary for economic policy in the U.S. Treasury Department. Cyrus Hamlin, co-founder of Robert College in Istanbul. G. Hannelius, child actress. John C. Harkness and Sarah P. Harkness, founders of the Architects Collaborative in Cambridge, Massachusetts with Bauhaus veteran Walter Gropius. Yukai Ho, mathematician. Pete Holmes, comedian. Bill Janovitz, lead singer and guitarist of the rock and roll band Buffalo Tom. Tama Janovitz, author, Slaves of New York. Dennis Johnson, guard for the Boston Celtics. Claude Julien, current head coach for the Boston Bruins. John Kabat-Zinn, creator of mindfulness-based stress reduction. X.J. Kennedy, noted poet and writer. Joyce Kulowick, arts and entertainment anchor for WBZ-TV News. Steve Leach, former NHL player. Gerald S. Lesser, psychologist who played a major role in developing the educational programming included in Sesame Street. Bill Lichtenstein, Peabody Award-winning journalist, filmmaker, radio producer. Abraham Loeb, chair of Astronomy Department and director of the Institute for Theory and Computation, Harvard University. Salvador Luria, Nobel Prize in Medicine. Rolly Massimino, led Villanova Wildcats to basketball national championship in 1985, former Lexington High School teacher and coach. Scott McCloud, cartoonist. Bill McKibben, environmentalist. Andrew McMahon, musician, lead vocalist and songwriter of Jack's Mannequin and Something Corporate. Douglas Melton, pioneer of stem cell research. Eugene Mirman, comedian. Mario Molina, Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Russell Marash, pioneer of how-to television. Creator and producer of the PBS shows The Victory Garden, This Old House, and New Yankee Workshop. Robbie Mustoe, former English footballer, current ESPN analyst. Matt Nathanson, musician. Marjorie Newell Robb, one of the last survivors of the sinking of RMS Titanic in 1912. Ryan Jude Noveline, contemporary artist and fashion designer. Joseph Nye, political analyst, author of Soft Power. Kathy O'Neill, data scientist, occupier and blogger at MathBabe. LHS grad. Peter Orsug, economist, director of the Office of Management and Budget. Amanda Palmer, songwriter, vocalist, pianist of the duo The Dresden Dolls. John Parker, captain of the Lexington Militia at the Battle of Lexington and Concord. Theodore Parker, Unitarian minister and transcendentalist. Cecilia Payne-Gaposchkin, astronomer known for her work on spectral analysis of stars. Awarded the Henry Norris Russell Lectureship by the American Astronomical Society in 1976. Charles Ponzi, con man, bought mansion in Lexington during 1920. Dion Kwan, voice actress. John Rawls, philosopher, known for his theory of justice. Ruth Sawyer, author, winner of the Newbery Medal. Clifford Shull, Nobel Prize in Physics. Aafia Siddiqui, neuroscientist, convicted of assaulting with a deadly weapon and attempting to kill U.S. soldiers and FBI agents. Tom Silver, building contractor and co-host of the PBS show This Old House. Clarence Skinner, dean of Crane School of Theology at Tufts and influential 20th-century American Universalist. Robert Solow, Nobel Prize-winning economist. Samuel Ting, Nobel Prize in Physics. Barbara Washburn and Bradford Washburn, mountaineers. Sheila E. Widnall, aerospace researcher and educator at MIT, former Secretary of the Air Force. Edward Osborne Wilson, entomologist and two-time Pulitzer Prize-winning author. Ethan Zohn, winner of Survivor. Africa. Sister cities. Lexington is a sister city of Antony, France. Dolores Hidalgo, Guanajuato, Mexico. Dnipropetrovsk, Ukraine. Haifa, Israel. Waspam, Nicaragua. Pavlovsk, Russia. Gatchina, Russia.